And
it's just another...
You can do it.
It's just another failure in the last year of booking that caused a lot of people to forget that. Because for the last 2 years, okay, it's been a holding pattern, really. She hasn't really done anything. She's been hanging around. She gets a title feud every now and then, loses, goes back to doing whatever she's doing with Bayley. So that's the problem. And I think what's going on the outside of WWE is helping WWE to realize, hey, we gotta shore some things up. We gotta tighten some things up. We need to get better stories out here, because if not, we already lost 2. Okay, we already lost 2, and Sasha Banks was making some noise a couple weeks ago, saying, hey, maybe there's other places. I'm not happy with what's going on. Okay, so the WWE, they're starting to
sweat.
They're starting to sweat. And for me, the product is getting better because of it. Because do I like Sasha Banks? But I recognize talent. And she showed it. She showed out at the Royal Rumble in a match that nobody thought she was going to win. But the victory here is that she made people believe she would win, even though most of us knew she wouldn't.
And that's a touch of a great professional and a great wrestler. So, kudos to you, boss. You are the boss for a reason. But moving on to what everyone really came to see, this was honestly, in terms of hype and excitement, this was my match of the night.
Let's face it, okay? This
Becky Lynch won the Women's Royal Rumble.
This should have been the main event.
As I called.
This should have been the main event. Easy. I don't understand why it wasn't. Okay, that is the moment. Okay? That is the moment you end with. Okay? No disrespect to anybody in the men's Royal Rumble. Okay, but they should have switched it up. Okay, last year should have ended with the men's Royal Rumble. This year should have ended with the women's. Because Shinsuke Nakamura's win last year was more electric than Asuka's. Okay, the only reason that they ended with Asuka winning the Royal Rumble was because for the moment afterwards.
Ronda.
Which is fine. Whatever. But this was the moment that should have come out of this Royal Rumble. That's the last thing you should have seen was Becky Lynch pointing at the WrestleMania sign. Okay, after this match, nobody cared anymore. Went full burnout because what people came to see already happened, and it was done. Okay, now going through the match. Okay, the first part was pretty boring up until Charlotte came out.
Speak for yourself. I wanted to see some of Lacey Evans right out of the gate. And that's exactly what I got. I got her at number 1.
I got her at number 1.
Well,
you got her at number 2.
You got her in the game, but I got her right here.
And she put in some work. She did. She got 2 eliminations for me.
Yeah, she eliminated both the Iconics, I believe.
Yes.
Not too shabby.
She put in some work, but they did the thing that they normally do. At the beginning, they filled the ring up with people. So, and when they do that, most of the time, for me at least, it's pretty boring. Okay, but then Charlotte came out. And people started going over. I'm like, okay, here we go. The match is getting going. Everything's going well. The pace is picking up. We're doing good things. And then number 28 happens.
Oh,
and remember what I
poor
said.
Lana.
And remember what I've said about everything finally making sense. This moment is when everything hit. Because Lana can barely walk coming up the aisle. And you know at this point that Nia Jax is coming out at 29 because we know Carmella's 30. And people at the beginning were like, okay, Carmella and R-Truth are the knowns. So they're getting it. So if anything's happening, they're getting attacked and they're getting. And then I was like, 28, Lana comes out limping. I'm like,
something's afoot.
Something's
Literally.
afoot. Something's afoot. A twist is coming. and so Nia Jax comes out, does her Nia Jax thing, annihilates Lana in the ramp. And so it's like, okay. Then Carmella comes out. I'm like, well, 28 never got to the ring. What's going to happen here? Then the crowd starts going nuts.
There's the queen.
And then
there's the Khaleesi.
And the camera turns, and I'm like, there it is. Mm-hmm. There it is. There's the twist to our story. Becky Lynch is taking Lana's place at number 28. And from that moment, there was no doubt. Mm-hmm. But it's okay sometimes when there is no doubt because of the story that led up to the win.
If it's what the people want and you give them what they want, then who cares?
And it's not even the fact that they gave the people what they want. It's how they gave the people what they wanted. Okay? Becky Lynch gets in Nia Jax's face. As she should have.
Mm-hmm.
Because we haven't... Yeah, she attacked her in the back. At that one pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Whatever. We never got, like, the violent in-ring showdown. Mm-hmm. So they do their thing. I think Charlotte eliminated Nia.
I think so.
And Nia gets pissed, but Becky is the one who's outside the ring at this point. So Nia Jax says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna take her out," and completely fucks up her knee. Like, completely. As you could tell, the night after on Raw and SmackDown, she's walking with the brace. She could barely move. But she's Becky Lynch, so she's still badass. Mm-hmm. That's it. And Becky Lynch has to overcome all the odds to take it. It's David versus Goliath at this point. Mm-hmm. Because she's up one-on-one against Charlotte Flair with a bum knee now. In the Royal Rumble, and Becky Lynch comes out on top. That was the perfect way to do this. Mm-hmm. It was. This was 100% impeccable booking. This was glorious. This was exactly how she should have won. It makes the last.
They nailed it.
The last 10 minutes of this Rumble, perfectly booked.
Bueno.
That's it. And it's been a while. I can't even say that because last year's men's Royal Rumble was perfectly booked. Mm-hmm. That last 5 minutes with the 3 new school versus 3 old school guys. Mm-hmm. That was perfectly booked. But I mean, like, you don't expect this out of the women's division. Mm-hmm. You just don't. And
now
how they did it
were changed tonight.
How they did it should show. Okay, they're still gonna find a way to put Charlotte in this match. I think it's a mistake at this point because at the Royal Rumble proved that the main event of WrestleMania doesn't need a third. Mm. Okay, Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey will sell, and the crowd will be into it, and just adding Charlotte in there could actually hurt the damn thing. So, but as of right now, this was the perfect way to do this. Goat face, baby. Goat face Rumble.
Absolutely no question there. But now we come down from the high of that, and now we have Daniel Bryan defeating AJ Styles in a good match, but the crowd was just so tired out that they were still in recovery mode during this match.
I don't
Not
think
unlike the Shinsuke AJ match at last year's WrestleMania. It felt the exact same way. I want to care. I like both these guys a whole lot, but after everything we got before that, it was just tiring. I felt like my mind and my body were still recovering to gearing myself up for the rest of the show.
And that's another reason why the Women's Royal Rumble should have been the main event. The WWE does. I don't think the WWE understands what they have in Becky Lynch.
Well, you know
what? They better
know now.
They have a clue, but they don't understand that everything after Becky Lynch on a show, okay, the crowd doesn't care. It doesn't matter who you throw in front of them. They threw out Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins at TLC, and the feud was lackluster. Okay, but it's still a match between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. When Dean Ambrose actually still gave a shit. So it's one of those, like, and what do you think happened? The crowd wanted Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
So that match was fucked from the get-go. Okay, it's the same thing here. Really, okay. The crowd was only into the matches before that because they knew they believed they were going to get another Becky sighting. Okay, as of this point, they knew that they weren't going to get another Becky sighting because they already blew the Becky load halfway through the show. Okay, so they were like, yeah, it's Daniel Bryan, yeah, it's AJ Styles. Don't care, Becky Lynch is gone. Yeah, it's Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor. Yeah, we'll get a little more into it, but yeah, Becky Lynch is gone. But
whenever Poochie's off screen, people should just be asking, "Where's Poochie?"
So
I'm not saying Becky Lynch is Poochie, not at all. People actually like Becky.
The match itself was good, not their best. It's kind of hard when you have 4 months in a row of matches.
Now I want Becky Lynch to be louder, angrier, and have access to a time machine.
Book it, WWE.
After WrestleMania, there you go. There's your next 6 months of booking.
But this feud's been going on for too long. Okay, that's another problem. They're probably on Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles burnout at this point. And the one thing I can say about this is very unpredictable ending. Did anybody ever think that Daniel Bryan was going to win this match because of Eric fucking Rowan? Lies.
I maybe...
Lies.
You're right.
You're
right. I can't hold that back. No, I didn't see this coming again. But you know what? I do like Eric Rowan.
I do.
I'm glad they're finally bringing him back in some capacity. And hey,
I find it funny that he keeps finding himself in the Colts. That's it. He keeps finding his way into Colts. So that's it. But
hey, I still dig it.
Yeah, the angry vegan cult. That's it.
Yes.
But yeah, this was good. This wasn't great. This wasn't up to the standard of a Daniel Bryan AJ Styles match. And that combined with the crowd being on complete fucking burnout, just brought the match down. Like it wasn't as good as it normally is, and it's not as good as the caliber of these men can normally bring. So,
yeah. Again, to me, it's just a matter of pacing off. And speaking of you spoke of it earlier. The crowd is sort of coming alive in the match after this, Brock Lesnar defeated Finn Balor as we all expected, but yeah, I got that sense too that in this